Hi, I'm Mark and welcome to our latest Outside Views game. The games are always question games or trivias, and you can play with as many friends as you want. And today, this special game is about Star Trek. If you play one of my games here for the first time, the whole explanation how it works is in the video description. If you need to read it, just press pause. But now we definitely can get started, and here comes the first question. And we start with Star Trek, the original series, so that the one that was just called Star Trek. And the first question is, who captained the USS Enterprise in the original Star Trek series? And this is the point where you press pause so the guy can or girl can give the answer, and then I give you the answer. And the answer is Captain James T. Kirk. Next question. What was the name of the half Vulcan, half human science officer on the Enterprise? Should be an easy one. And the answer, of course, is Mr. Spock. Next question. What is the famous Vulcan greeting that Spock often performs? Yeah, it's the Vulcan salute, and that means this one, not just saying live long and prosper, which somebody might have answered, but the raised fingers are representing logic and emotion. Next question. What is the prime directive of Starfleet that the crew of the Enterprise must follow, even if they don't always do that? And the answer is the prime directive prohibits interference with the natural development of alien civilizations. Next question. What iconic phrase did Captain Kirk allegedly often utter at the beginning of dangerous missions or at the most dangerous moments? And the answer is, beam me up, Scotty. And that's funny because Scotty kinda never actually beamed anyone up in the series. He did a little trick in Next Generation in the episode, I think it was a visit from the old Enterprise or something, where he used a transporter to survive all the time. Next question. What were the adorable fluffy creatures that caused trouble for the crew in one episode? And the answer, of course, is tribbles. That reminds me of Star Trek Fleet Command, the game I have an English and a German channel on. There you even have to mine tribbles. Next question. Which alien race were the main rivals of the Federation in the original series, known for their aggressive nature? And the answer, of course, is the Klingons. It wasn't the Romulans because they didn't appear that often. They were more the sneaky than the aggressive ones. Next question. What was the name of the ship's doctor aboard the Enterprise? And he even appeared in Next Generation once. The answer is Dr. Leonard McCoy. Next question. Who was the captain of the Enterprise before Kirk? And the answer is Captain Christopher Pike. It's easier to remember now because of Strange New Worlds and Discovery, so that probably was another easy question. Next question. How many seasons did the original Star Trek series run for? And the answer is 3 seasons. And that concludes our original series questions, because now we come to Star Trek The Next Generation. And the first question is, who is the captain of the Enterprise D in Star Trek The Next Generation? And the answer is, of course, Jean-Luc Picard. Next question. What is the name of the ship's android crew member who yearns for humanity? And the answer is probably one of the favorite characters of most people, and that's Data. Next question. What is the name of the Klingon security officer aboard Enterprise? And the answer is Worf. Next question. How many seasons did Star Trek The Next Generation run for? And the answer is 7 seasons. Next question. What is the name of the omnipotent being who puts humanity on trial in this series? Most people will find this entity kind of annoying or are enjoying it. And the answer is, of course, Q. Next question. What name does Picard get when he's assimilated by the Borg? And the answer is Locutus or Locutus of Borg. Next question. What is the name of the counselor who offers guidance, for example, on alien cultures? And the answer is Deanna Troi. Next question. What technological innovation allows the Enterprise to travel faster than light? And the answer is the warp drive. Next question. What ship class is the Enterprise D? And the answer is Galaxy class. Next question. What is the famous opening line spoken by Captain Picard at the beginning of most episodes? And the answer that's sufficient for points is space, the final frontier. You don't have to say the whole thing to get the point. So if you got this first part, that's fine. And this concludes, I guess, the questions on The Next Generation. And we proceed to Star Trek Deep Space Nine. It's kind of my favorite series, I must say. First question is, where is Deep Space Nine located? And the answer is Deep Space Nine is a space station orbiting a former Cardassian-occupied world called Bajor, near a wormhole that connects the Alpha and Gamma quadrants of the galaxy. By the way, if you just said Bajor, that's fine. Next question. Who is the commanding officer of Deep Space Nine for most of the series? And the answer is Commander Benjamin Sisko, a Starfleet officer who becomes deeply involved with Bajoran religious beliefs. If you said Captain Sisko, that's fine as well. He was promoted during that time. But I said most of the time because in between, Gul Dukat was back in charge of the station. Next question. What is the name of the infamous bar in the space station's promenade deck? And that's, of course, Quarks. Next question. Who is the mysterious bartender at Quark's bar, a frequent hangout for the crew? And the answer is kind of a bonus question for the person who was in charge of that question, because of course it was Quark. And he's a Ferengi businessman known for his love of profit and often clashes with the station's Starfleet crew. And of course Odo. Next question. What are the mysterious orbs that appear throughout the series and hold great power? And the answer is the orbs are celestial entities that possess incredible abilities and are revered by the Bajoran religion. I said entities because Sisko's mother was kind of one of these orbs, and they turned Jadzia Dax in one of these orbs in the first series. So it's hard to say what they exactly are, if they are the prophet themselves or just something they made. But that's why I chose that formulation here. Next question. What is the name of the major antagonist power in the later seasons? And the answer is the Dominion. And the Dominion is a vast and militaristic empire ruled by the Founders, a race of shapeshifters who seek to dominate the galaxy. Next question. What is the name of the Klingon warrior who becomes an officer on Deep Space Nine? And the answer is Worf. As we know, he's a former member of the crew of the Enterprise D, and he joins Deep Space Nine and provides a Klingon perspective. By the way, in my most favorite episodes, The Way of the Warrior. Next question. What is the name of the Trill who becomes a crew member on the station? And the answer is Jadzia Dax. And later, once again, Ezri Dax as well after Jadzia's death. Next question. What is the name of the episode considered one of the best in Star Trek history, where Sisko makes a morally questionable decision? And the answer is In the Pale Moonlight. He explores themes of sacrifice and the cost of victory during wartime, and I really like that episode. Next question. What is the name the Bajorans use for the wormhole? And the answer is the Celestial Temple. And this already concluded the questions on Deep Space Nine, and now we proceed with Star Trek Voyager. Who is the captain of Voyager? And the answer is Captain Catherine Janeway. Next question. What is the name of the Maquis first officer who serves alongside Janeway? Of course, as the Maquis he was captain, but now he's first officer of Janeway. And the answer is Chakotay. Next question. What is the origin of the Emergency Medical Hologram, or EMH? And the answer is the Doctor is a program developed by Starfleet for emergency use on starships. And I didn't want to know the name of the Doctor, who the Doctor kind of sees as his father, that you also see in one of the episodes, but in the end he did it for Starfleet. Next question is, what species is 7 of 9, a character who joins the crew later in the series? And the answer is 7 of 9 is a Borg drone, a cybernetically enhanced being. And she lets everybody know that she feels enhanced even after being freed from the collective. Next question. What is the chief engineer's name and what is her unique heritage? The answer is B'Elanna Torres. She's half Klingon and half human. Next question. What is the name of the hotshot pilot who gets assigned to Voyager? And the answer is Lieutenant Tom Paris. Well, at the time he's Prisoner Tom Paris, but throughout the series we mostly know him as Lieutenant Tom Paris. Next question. Which main characters have a child together in the series? And the answer was made quite easy by the last two questions, because it is B'Elanna and Tom. Next question. What is the malfunctioning technology that Voyager relied on for faster travel at some point, but with dangerous side effects? And the answer is the slipstream drive. You know the episode with the Voyager in the ice? Nice one. Next question. Who is Neelix and what role does he play on Voyager? And just as a little private joke here, Moogie, I don't mean you right now. And the answer is Neelix is a Talaxian who becomes the ship's cook and morale officer. Next question. What recurring enemy species is Voyager constantly trying to avoid until the final episode? And the answer, of course, is the Borg, a hive mind of assimilated species that seeks to add Voyager to their collective most of the times. Next question is from Star Trek Discovery, because we just finished Voyager. Who is the main character of Star Trek Discovery? And the answer is Michael Burnham, a human Starfleet officer with a troubled past and a close connection to the series antagonist in Season 1. But I'm still not sure why they called a female character Michael. That has nothing to do with diversity, I guess. But nevertheless, that's her name. Next question. When is Star Trek Discovery set in the Star Trek timeline? And the answer is a bit longer. The show starts in the 23rd century, roughly 10 years before the events of Star Trek, the original series, but later jumps to the 32nd century. Next question. What is the name of the ship Michael Burnham serves on during most of the series? And the answer was kind of another bonus one for the person in charge of that question. It's of course the USS Discovery, a prototype starship with a spore drive allowing for instantaneous travel across vast distances. Next question. What is the central conflict of the second season of Star Trek Discovery? And the answer is the emergence of a rogue artificial intelligence called Control, threatening to wipe out all sentient life in the galaxy. And the whole fight against Control is the reason why they ended up in the 32nd century. Next question. Does Star Trek Discovery connect to other Star Trek series? And the answer is quite obvious. Yes, it features characters like Captain Christopher Pike from Star Trek the original series and Strange New Worlds later on, of course, and mentions historical events from other shows. And for example, when they arrive at the new Starfleet center, so to speak, there you see the USS Voyager. Although, if I remember correctly, it's the 11th USS Voyager. Next question. What is the mysterious spore drive that powers Discovery? And the answer is it utilizes a network of microscopic fungi to navigate a mycelial network, essentially a shortcut through space. Next question. What is the name of the Kelpian science officer on Discovery with a troubled past? And the answer is Saru. A troubled past because he fled his homeworld because he was always facing slaughter, so that you could call a troubled past. Next question. What is the name of the Terran from the Mirror universe Michael Burnham is forced to work with? And I mean the one she knows is a Terran. And the answer is Emperor Philippa Georgiou. That's why I said the one she knows who is a Terran, because Gabriel Lorca was a Terran too, but Burnham didn't know until they arrived in the Mirror universe. Next question. What is the Season 3 mystery surrounding the 32nd century that the Discovery crew encounters? And the answer is a galactic event called the Burn that rendered dilithium inert, or even say explosive, crippling warp travel and fracturing the once powerful Federation. Next question. Who is the captain of Discovery after Captain Gabriel Lorca is revealed to be an imposter? And the answer is Saru, a cautious and intelligent Kelpian officer who overcomes his insecurities to become a respected leader. And with that, we already finish Discovery and get to Strange New Worlds. First question, who is the captain of the Enterprise in Star Trek Strange New Worlds? And the answer is Captain Christopher Pike. Next question, what is the name of Captain Pike's trusted first officer, also known as Number 1? And the answer is Una Chin Riley. Next question. This iconic half-Vulcan science officer serves alongside Captain Pike. Who is it? And the answer, once again, is Mr. Spock. Next question. Which captain will follow Pike in command of the Enterprise? And the answer is easy if you listened at the earlier questions in this game. That's, of course, James T. Kirk. Next question. La'an Noonien Singh is a skilled security officer, but what's her surprising connection to a future Star Trek foe? And the answer is kind of given away by her name. La'an is a descendant of Khan Noonien Singh, a future enemy of the Federation. He appeared not only in the original series but also in one of the movies. Next question. A young crew member with a familiar name joins the Enterprise as well. Who is this future communications officer? And the answer is Cadet Nyota Uhura. Next question. Strange New Worlds features another familiar face from Star Trek the original series besides Uhura, Spock and Pike. Who is it? And the answer is Nurse Christine Chapel. Next question. Strange New Worlds explores the ethical dilemmas of exploration. What moral code guides Starfleet exploration in the series? And the answer is the same as in the original series, the Prime Directive, which restricts interference with developing civilizations. Next question. One of the unique aspects of the series is Captain Pike's burden of knowledge. What future event haunts him? And the answer is Pike has seen a vision of his own tragic fate due to radiation poisoning. And we kind of know since the original series what this fate is. Next question. Strange New Worlds brings back a dangerous race and shows how dangerous they are. But which race is it? It's a race we know from the original series, but we only get to know it at Strange New Worlds. And the answer is the Gorn. And because of the Gorn at the moment I'm filming this, I'm waiting desperately for the next season of Strange New Worlds. I hope there is one. And this finishes Strange New Worlds and we get over to Star Trek Picard. And the first question is, what is Jean-Luc Picard doing at the beginning of Star Trek Picard? The answer is Jean-Luc Picard is retired from Starfleet and living on his vineyard in France. Chateau Picard. Next question. What mysterious event brings Picard out of retirement? And the answer is a young woman called Dash arrives seeking his help, hinting at a connection to his past. Next question. What is the Romulan supernova and why is it significant? And the answer is a bit longer again. The Romulan supernova was a devastating event that destroyed the Romulan homeworld. We know that from some movies as well. And Picard played a role in the evacuation efforts here. Next question. Who is Seven of Nine and how is she involved in the story? And the answer is 7 of 9, formerly a Borg drone, is now a Starfleet officer. She joins Picard's mission after their paths converge. And that happened several times, so why I said now she's a Starfleet officer. When they first met in the series, she was an Antares Ranger, but in the end, she's a Starfleet captain even. Next question. What is the role of the synthetic life form Soji Asha? And the answer is Soji Asha is a key mystery. She's an artificially created human with a connection to Data, Picard's close friend from Star Trek The Next Generation, and she kind of wants to wipe out all life by calling in some old ancient enemies, but just the artificially created human with a connection to Data would be enough here. Next question. What is the organization called the Zadvash, and what are their goals? You see, my Romulan isn't that good. And the answer is the Zadvash is a secretive Romulan sect obsessed with destroying synthetic life, and they see Soji and similar beings as a threat. Next question. How do some of Picard's former crew members from The Next Generation factor into the story? And the answer is several familiar faces return, including William Riker, Deanna Troi, Worf, and Dr. Beverly Crusher, and they assist Picard in his mission. And kind of Geordi does too, but he had to be convinced a lot, so to speak. Next question. What is the significance of the artifact? The answer is the artifact is the name of a captured Borg cube, and you can give many more answers, like they're trying to free form a Borg from that cube. 7 of 9 is stealing it to use it in the fight on the side of Picard and everything. So there's a lot of possible answers here. Next question. What moral and ethical dilemmas does the series explore? And the answer is Picard grapples with issues like artificial intelligence, the legacy of his past actions, and the ethics of creating synthetic life. Next question. How does Star Trek Picard connect to the larger Star Trek universe? And the answer is the series references past events and characters from Star Trek The Next Generation and other shows, and it also explores the lasting impact of the Romulan supernova on the galaxy that we have encountered in the story before the series Picard came out. And this now concludes the questions on Picard and gives us our last category, the Star Trek movies. And the first question is, what was the villain's name in the first Star Trek movie called Star Trek The Motion Picture? And the answer is V'Ger, though its true nature was more complex, and we know that the original name was longer before it was altered. It was Voyager. Not the ship, but the probe. Next question. In Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, what does Khan use to control people aboard the Enterprise? And the answer is SETI eels. You know, the SETI Alpha 5, SETI Alpha 6 mix up, and with Chekhov and everything. It was quite disgusting. Next question. What famous line does Spock utter with his last bit of strength in Star Trek The Wrath of Khan? And I know what you're expecting now, and that's why I'm a bit mean here. The last thing he really importantly said was remember. And it wasn't with his last breath in the chamber, but it was the last thing he said with his breath fully there before he entered the chamber, when he mind melded with McCoy to give his katra. But if anyone said the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one, of course you get the point as well. That was the last thing he said before he died. Next question. In Star Trek The Voyage Home, what historical mission does the crew of the Enterprise undertake? And the answer is they travel back in time to San Francisco in the 1980s to retrieve humpback whales. Next question. Who is the captain of the Enterprise in the reboot film Star Trek from 2009? And the answer is, once again, it's James T. Kirk, but this time played by Chris Pine. Next question. What is the name of the Romulan starship that faces off against the Enterprise in Star Trek from 2009? And the answer is Narada. That's Nero's ship. Next question. What is the name of Shinzon's ship in Star Trek Nemesis? And the answer this time is Scimitar. You know, the thing with the Thalaron radiation. Next question. In Star Trek Generations, which captain teams up with Captain Picard? And the answer, once again, is Captain James T. Kirk. Next question. What is the name of the cybernetic race that tries to assimilate Earth in Star Trek First Contact? And of course, once again, we have my favorite enemies here, the Borg. Next question. Who is the villain in Star Trek Into Darkness, the 2013 sequel to the Star Trek reboot film? And the answer is Khan Noonien Singh. That's why I didn't name the film when I talked about La'an Noonien Singh. But this also means congratulations, you finished all questions, and I really hope that we have a winner. And of course, congratulations to the winner. I hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned something. You never know. But there are more such games here. Just try the next one. I will definitely in 1 month, one game a month or something, make new ones for you. So if you want to play another one, I'll see you there. I'll be back.